every 10 or 15 years, a film is produced that is so overwhelming, so forceful in its impact, that it becomes deeply embedded in the mind.
Persons under 18 will not be admitted.
Appreciate your choosing our theater. And to make this experience more enjoyable for everyone, we hope you'll refrain from talking during the show. Enjoy the movie. Thank you.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. You're watching Still Toking with. My name's Leo. I'm monkey behind the keyboard here. And who do we got? We have Ben. Hey,
what's
how's
up?
it
What's up? What's up?
going? Long time no see.
Right. Well, you're going to see me a lot this weekend.
Oh, jeez.
Yes. Yes. It is on like fucking Donkey Kong, brother.
Should I follow the restraining order now or later?
I got you back, Leo.
Yeah,
you back.
Thank you, Jeff.
Hey. Nah. That ain't no. Fuck you. In case you're all wondering what I'm talking about, is we are hitting the road this week, heading down to Maryland Pop and HorrorCon. Great show. We're going to be broadcasting live all weekend with the panels. I'm super psyched to do that. But I'm really super psyched to chat with our guest tonight. He won't be at Maryland, but he will be at Tidewater Horror Convention in September. So get your fucking tickets. Get off your ass. No excuses. Don't want to hear it. All right, I'm done.
Well,
my rant's over.
Not only September, early September, in like just a couple weeks.
Oh, so yeah. So there you go. So you're going to get me for like 4 days in Maryland and then again for another 4 a couple weeks later. Then you can file the restraining order.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jeff,
like I said, yeah, Leo, I got your back. Don't worry about it.
thank you.
Yeah, like I'm worried about
I
that.
got you covered. You know, yeah, it's gonna be. We're gonna have a lot of fun down there, and I'm looking forward to it. And for all our viewers, stay tuned because we got a big surprise coming out about halfway through the show. You're not gonna want to miss that. And on that, let's get on with the show. Let's bring in Mr. Tom Glynn.
Wow. Did he
How
pronounce
you guys
it right?
doing?
Did he pronounce the last name right?
You did perfect. That was great.
Well, the thing is, my job is to really like fuck up the last names because that's what I do. So I was.
Well, Glenn's a
trying to think
stage
in my
name.
head.
You would fucking destroy my real last name.
It's hard. It's hard to fuck that up. So I came up with Glynn. I came up with Glynnin because of the two N's.
Glynn.
Yeah, Glynnin. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
I've been called much fucking worse, so that's all good.
Glynnin because it's two N's. Does that make?
I'm going to start using that. What's your
Does
name?
that
I'm Glynn.
Does that make you
Right.
Jeffafa? I'm just wondering. Does that
Sure.
make you Jeffafa?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just
In a few weeks, we can work through all this. It's going to be fucking all. I want to be introduced as Tom Glynn.
Okay, I can do that.
Like I'm going to put that in like some writer or something. I don't answer to Glenn. Fuck you. That'd be
That's
great.
not fuck. Well, you won't be Tom either. You'll be Tom.
Again,
Tom
not the worst
Glynn.
thing I've been called.
Well, you know what's even funnier? I hear Jeff Tom Glynn is also the name of the baby Sasquatch in your backyard.
right.
It is. Who the fuck named my Sasquatch?
Yeah, Tom's like, what? Yeah.
It went right. Sorry, that one went right over.
Sorry, bad joke.
Bad jokes are better than silence. Go for it. I love it.
Hey, that's how it goes.
Couple comments. One, that is possibly the best intro to anything I've seen in a while. That was great. I love the intro to the show. Was it?
That's all
Leo.
the eye candy right there.
Why, thank you.
That's why we keep him around. Yeah, he hits the wrong button sometimes when we go live, but man, when it comes to the video shit.
Was that you with
Crushes.
Dean Cain, Leo, in the intro?
Yes. Yep.
I did a movie with him. Great dude. Just a great guy.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
Dean. I'm like, I know, motherfucker, you're Superman. I know who you are. But we watched a hockey game together. Do you like hockey? No, but I will now.
Right.
Right?
Oh shit.
Are you a Superman fan?
I'm a giant geek, dude.
Yeah.
I really am. I'm into all that shit.
Oh,
You
you're in
look-
fucking trouble.
Like I'm in my office, but I mean I'm gonna turn around. Like I've got so much random shit. I've got action figures, a Boba Fett, a Mandalorian helmet, a cowboy hat, a Conan the Barbarian helmet. My place is fucking insane.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm a giant geek.
So we know where this fucking show is gonna go fast, Jeff.
Well, yeah, I'll try and steer us away from the from for a little while. I want to know some of his geekiness. So,
Well, yeah, but I want to. I
You
want to
know.
know a lot more about. Fuck, I don't know. I want to know everything. So fuck it. I'm just gonna say.
You guys go nuts. I'm here, bro. The only possible thing will happen is a 5-year-old may run in and go, "What are you doing?" "I'm talking to my friends." "Okay," and that's it.
Right?
Cool.
Yeah.
You'll just have to go
So,
like this. It's that way we don't drop any F-bombs.
All right. So
My kids,
first
I have a
question.
10-year-old and a 5-year-old, and they're both well aware of daddy words versus their words. So I was raised by a construction supervisor, so you can imagine how that went.
Oh yeah, Jeff and I are
Like,
both we're both contractors.
I remember my mother had a dinner party when I was like 8, and I walk in and somebody's like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm like a motherfucker." Man, my mother never hit me, but that one time, where'd you hear that? The man you've been married to my whole life, every day. What are you talking about?
Right? Yeah.
But
It's,
a good childhood, to be clear. But yeah,
Right.
motherfucker didn't go over well at that little dinner party at all.
No.
No, I learned at the beginning that you got to drop the mother and just say "fuck her."
I don't think that would have made it better, but
See, I tried it when I think I was like 10 years old. My dad was a firefighter, worked for the town, so he had the construction mouth.
okay.
But he came home one day after work. I can't remember what happened. I think I was like 10 years old, and I did it silently. I just went, "Man, I got my ass whooped."
Yeah, I would have got my finger would have been broke.
His face hit the floor. His belt came off at the same time. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm dead." I went up my stairs in my room. I found my closet. I hid in the furthest corner for about 3 hours. Yeah.
Well,
And it didn't matter. I still got my ass whooped.
no, my first F-bomb at the dining room table, I was hit by teeth.
By teeth?
Yeah, my dad had false teeth. He took them out and threw them at me.
I'll bite you, you little bastard.
That would be a hell of a punishment. Just take your teeth out, like, "I'll fucking show you, you little." What do you do to
He
that?
fucking threw them right at me. Yep, he threw them right at me.
Holy
Yep,
shit.
damn near landed in my soup.
Oh, that would have been a bad hit, man. That would have been a bad hit for sure. But anyway,
All right, so Tom, where you from? Where were you born and raised?
I am quite literally a cowboy from Mississippi. I grew up on a small farm in the middle of nowhere. And when I tell you
Sweet.
nowhere, I mean, I'm amazed it's not a ghost town. I'm fucking amazed people still live there.
wow.
So, did
My
you
type
grow
of
up
place.
noodling?
What's that?
Did you grow up noodling?
Noodling.
Oh,
We honestly, it wasn't that bad a childhood. It was actually a good childhood. It was just, like I said, wasn't a lot of cultural references other than, honestly, I'm old enough, we had that big fucking satellite dish, like the one in the backyard, like you had a fucking plant, and I'd get to watch my little movies and shit. And it all ties in later, because I watched Creepshow as a kid and I was like, this is amazing. And then
Right?
fucking 40 years later, I'm sitting there talking to Greg Nicotero, and I'm dressed up in a fucking Santa outfit going, how the fuck did this happen? My whole
Now, you
acting
still
career is one series of, how the fuck did I pull this off?
Those are the best ones.
Oh,
Right.
dude, I've thoroughly had fun so far. I have very few complaints. I'm like every actor, you always, there's those little tears. You want to go to that next step and the next step. Dude, I really can't complain. Things have gone okay. I have no complaints. I thoroughly enjoy it.
Now, do you still reside in East Bumfuck?
No, I'm in a nicer bumfuck. I live in Florida now.
Okay.
I love it here. I'm not too, we're not
A different
We're
kind
not
of
too
a
far from the
bumfuck.
beach, but we're far away enough that if a hurricane comes, like, okay, we're not in deep shit. Like, we're not going to get flooded. Got a nice little downtown area, Pensacola, Florida. I love it here.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I have a place in Atlanta. I split some time up there. I've got some investments there. I got some stuff here. And being completely honest, Atlanta's the biggest market close to me, like a real film market. And some of the casting directors are very particular about, even if you get to be not that I'm a name, But even if you get to some level of notoriety, they really want local hire. So I literally keep a residence. Like I rent a small place in Atlanta, just like, I'm there. If you hire me, I'm there.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, it's some nice little investment. So again, my complaints are few.
Very cool.
Well, they probably do that to keep budgets down.
Exactly. And a casting director explained it one day, and I couldn't fault his logic. Like, all right, let's say you weren't local, and I go, and hey, we book you for this film. Then the project calls, hey, could you get the wardrobe? Not for 6 hours. No, I get where they're coming from with it. And plus, it is the budget of, hey, okay. What the fuck that was, but let's go ahead. I get the budget constraints of, hey, and Atlanta has some really good actors there, so they don't have to go bring people in. Hey, we don't have to pay hotel, we don't have to pay per diem. I mean, I get it. So
Right.
Well,
you can't beat them. I just play the game.
We know that a lot of film companies have moved their production to Atlanta. So, you think it could be more like tax breaks? They probably
That's huge. That's such a huge part of it. You can literally go state to state and go, how much film is here? Well, how much money are you look at a producer, how much money are you going to save me? Atlanta, Georgia has great tax incentives for films, and that's why everything's gone there. If something ever changed, I'd be shocked because there's so much infrastructure built in there now. Like they've built huge studios. Tyler Perry has a fucking compound. Like you can literally, during COVID, he was the first one filming because he was like, hey, test the actors. And he literally just kept everybody on set because he literally has like a campus. Wow. He'd have food trucks come in and people were just living there. So he was probably the first person to come back after COVID. Although I would like it noted, Creepshow was right in that mix. They were like, no pressure. But if this goes without a hitch, we can start filming The Walking Dead again. I'm like, okay, so you don't want to be the guy to walk in and go,
Right.
Yeah, so that was, no pressure there, but it was a cool experience. All of it's been cool.
So you mentioned Creepshow a couple times. So tell us, how did you land that? How did you land that role?
That's actually a pretty good story because they had already booked the whole thing. They were going to start filming. COVID hit. I cannot remember for the life of me. I want to say it was a cast member from The Walking Dead. They had booked as Kringle, but went to Canada, and they started talking, all right, we're going to start trying to film again. Well, they couldn't get the guy back. Mm-hmm. And we'll get to this in a minute, because when I put that suit on, I could tell, well, this wasn't fucking made for me. So they actually just put out auditions just like you would any normal role. Right. My agent, send me, hey, you got this audition? I start looking at him like, director, Greg Nicotero. I'm like, okay, let me. And it was under some fake name, like something like The Hills or The Mist or something. I can't, like they do with a lot of the Marvel projects. You'll read for something called, hey, you're reading for Norm. Okay. Then like a year later, you're watching Spider-Man and go, motherfucker, I read for that,
Right.
So I just happened, this casting director says specifically, we don't want props or costumes. I'm like, it's fucking Santa Claus. I just happen to have this weird, I guess you call it this biker Santa thing. Like it's this big red leather outfit from some Netflix movie. It's a Santa outfit, but it's like this creepy, like it looks like a big biker outfit. Right. I'm like, fuck it. I put on the whole thing. I've got long hair at the time, so my hair's down on my face, and I do the audition. And it's you can be a little over the top with it. So I submitted it. And honestly, I forgot about it. Like 2 weeks later, my agent calls me and I'm like, yeah, I got your email. She's like, that's great, but that's not why I'm calling you. And I booked it. Just like, so simple as that.
Wow.
And later on, and when I got to know Greg, he told me like the second I saw your audition, it was like, boom, that's it. So it was very cool experience. Got to set. Everybody's great. I can say nothing negative other than that suit was, I'm a fairly big guy. Right now I'm like 225. I think at that time I was maybe 215. Every fucking day, they literally, and I'm not exaggerating, lubed me up with KY jelly and shoved me in that fucking outfit. We wrapped every day of filming. I literally just went home. I said, fuck these underwear.
Dude.
I just put on a pair of jeans with no shirt and walk out like fuck everyone.
Even for
touch me.
dude.
I just go and shower like fuck.
That was too much information.
Well, I mean, no, there could have been way more, like what it reminded me of, but
So
yeah, they
you are-
literally had to
okay,
just
well,
lather me in KY
obviously
jelly,
you
just
are
shove me in that outfit.
I just saw Jeff's face when he said that. He closed his eyes, he shook his head, and he got that shit-eating grin, and I was like, don't you fucking dare.
There's an
Oh,
analogy
that's-
there, sure. Yeah,
Oh, so
it was
many
implied.
things
I was
going through
leaving the
my head.
implication.
Oh boy, wait till I see you in person.
What, are you going to lather him up?
No, I'm gonna bring him latex, spandex. Yeah, put this on.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be the first thing somebody would. Hey, good to actually meet you. Oh, you what? Okay.
Right? Oh, Jesus.
Oh, cool. That's funny. That's funny.
That's a great story, though. I like that.
But
That's funny.
it was a great experience, and that because most of the stuff I've done, I've either been a big character in like more indie films, smaller budget stuff, or I've been more of a day player or a smaller part in big budget stuff. So I've gotten to work with some really talented people on different levels. So
Right.
Creepshow is
The movie-
Creepshow's the one where that's the one I've got the most notoriety from. It happens to be in this genre that I love. So
Yes, yes. But I remember watching Blackwater, and I love Blackwater. That was a
Really?
great flick. Yes, I love that fucking movie.
I can talk about that one all day. That was interesting. I will tell you this. I don't know what you've heard differently. Jean-Claude Van Damme, who, in my experience, was one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. He could not have been nicer to me.
Mm.
I have heard that he could be difficult to work with. I went into it like, well, let's see how this goes. It was that was actually, I think, my first feature film. That was like kind of my break.
Mhm.
He was out of his way nice, just super experienced.
Wow.
I never ask people in productions who are higher than me in the production to take a picture. I try to be professional. I just like, hey, I'm here to do my job. He's the only lead I've ever gotten a picture with because he literally goes, hey, come over, let's get a picture together. I'm like, okay.
Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
that's cool.
super guy. I can't,
So
he didn't
on
know
the
any of
flip,
his lines, but he was a super guy.
on the
Now,
flip
is he
side,
tall?
No. Tall? No.
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 but on the flip side, how was Dolph Lundgren?
You know, it's funny. I've met Dolph, but not on Blackwater. He literally came in for a weekend, shot all his scenes, and bounced. He's like, any scene you see where we're interacting with him, we're talking to his double, or I'm talking like there's some scene where he's in a cell and like we're outside the door. He was back back in LA or wherever. But another film that came up, God, right at the beginning of COVID called Castle Falls,
Okay.
that he did in Alabama of all places. I got to read for that. I booked it. It was the weirdest story because they're like, we want to do in-person audition. Okay. So I drive to Birmingham, Alabama, get there. They're like, well, Dolph's looking forward to meeting you. I'm like, oh, he's fucking here? Like
Right.
So yeah, I walk in, there's Dolph Lundgren, and then I have to explain, we sort of did a movie together. And he's like, what? And we talk about Blackwater. He's like, oh yeah. Because it's not a masterpiece. It was a lot of fun. It beat Mission Impossible in China. True fucking story.
Right?
It
I thought
they
was a
made some
great
money.
movie.
Yeah,
It was
Oh, it
fun.
was a great movie.
I will
Yeah,
tell
that
you,
was
when I
cool.
watched it, it turned out, because we had our little running joke, because we're supposed to be on the submarine. We're filming it in this abandoned school for the most part. We shot 2 nights on the actual submarine. The rest, like, everybody's standing around going like, this does not look like a fucking submarine. And we're like, yeah, okay.
Right.
It was interesting. I'll say that because I don't want to be, because again, JC was wonderful to me, but man, if a line was more than 5 words, he was like, what was it again? he was there. He was like, I'm here. I'm going to do my job. But there's a lot of cue cards and a lot of director feeding lines.
Wow.
I have no problem saying that. He was, but again, absolute sweetheart of a human being. His whole family was great. I expected some weird dynamic, and his family was the most traditional. His son loved him. His wife loved him. He loved them. They were like this big, happy family. I was like, I did not expect that.
Right.
I heard all these stories,
awesome.
and, you know, I was like, no, they were, his son and his wife are some of the nicest people I've met in my life. It was just like this weird, I got semi-adopted for a few weeks. They were just great. But yeah, going back to Dolph, I met him at the audition for Castle Falls. I booked it. Then something happened. They said, well, we're going to have to cut you. We found this guy, local hire. Okay, fine. Then COVID hit, then the whole thing got canceled. Then they started filming again, and they said, well, now we want you for this other part. Dolph really likes you. Great. But then the way it was explained to me, there was an investor who pulled out because of some financial issues following COVID. So they really had to cut the budget, and they literally cut. And from what I saw of the sides and the script that I saw, I want to say they cut literally a third of the characters out of that movie.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't want to say it was a bad movie, but I think it would have been so much better if that hadn't happened. Like the script I saw, I was like, this looks cool, looks fun. And then I saw it, I'm like, man, they really had to pull back on this. So, but that's the industry, so.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
That is true.
And with a lot of the films I see, I mean, it's a business, you know. It's weird because you get to see on one side of it, you see super artistic people who are committed to, you know, like, this is going to be my performance. It's going to be, you know, they don't give a fuck about the business side. Then on the other end, you've got producers who are literally like, I don't give a shit about the story or that there's a formula and a profit margin. I'm worried about distribution, investors, and our bottom line. And that's it. And then you have, God bless the director, who's got to make these two things work together, which is one of my good friends in the industry. I've worked with him several times as a director, Tom DiNucci, and I will tell you, there are times I've looked at him like, how are you not just a fucking alcoholic? He's like, well, brother, it'll test you sometimes. Because he's got like some super artsy guy calling him at 2 a.m. saying that his feelings are hurt. Then you got a producer over here just, you know, hey, we got, you know, this many hours, we got this person on set for this many hours, you know, boom, boom, boom with the money stuff. And it's like, you got to make those things work together. And dude, you don't have enough money to get me to do it. Everybody's like, I want to be a director. Hell no. Mm-mm. No chance.
No.
I like showing up, going to Crafty. Here's my words. Oh, I'm going to play make believe a while, and they say that's a picture rap, and everybody claps and says your name. You're like, oh, this is really cool. Then you go home.
So, what was your favorite role?
I've enjoyed all of them for different reasons. I'm going to say Creepshow just because that's probably the one I get the most notoriety from. It opened up a whole different avenue of things for me that other stuff hasn't. And honestly, the crew was just phenomenal to me. Greg, and I'll sing Greg's praises all day. Have any of you guys actually met Greg Nicotero?
No. But our affiliate, which is Diamond Productions down in New York, Bill Diamond himself, he's actually friends with Greg.
Let me tell you, Greg is just the nicest guy. I was blown away by what just a good person he was. Like, you know, invites me like, hey, we're gonna have some people over. You want to come over? Greg didn't know me other than I'd worked with him a few days. Like, yeah, sure. And just invites me in his home. Is like just showing me around. Imagine a teenager who loves horror movies wins millions of dollars. You got Greg's house. Like, it's just horror stuff everywhere. Like there's a legit zombie from The Walking Dead just sitting in the corner. I think he has the original table from Young Frankenstein in one of his guest rooms, like stuff like that. It was just like, this place is awesome. Right. I'm sure his neighbors like, what the fuck? But I thought it was the greatest place I'd ever been. It was like Disney to me. But just a night. He was genuinely concerned about me because the suit, honestly, it got hot filming that. So he's like, "Hey, you doing okay, buddy?" And, "Hey, man, you're doing a great job. Everybody loves you. You're a trooper, Tom. Everybody loves you." The one thing that kind of was touching, we had to do pickup shots. They could have put anybody in the suit. I mean, I don't do anything that day. He's like, "I want you to get another payday." I said, "If we have to use somebody else, fine. But first, make sure Tom Glynn's not available." That meant a lot to me. Because that's an extra SAG day. Plus, just that you feel appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, just a cool guy. I got to see his band play. Ooh, I want to say it's probably been a year now. They had a show in Atlanta, The Rocking Dead. Highly recommend you check them out if they ever play anymore.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Yeah.
I didn't think you would.
No, not at all.
Hey, Leo.
I'll ask you later.
I'll fill you in person.
Perfect. Good. Fine.
Leo.
Yes, sir.
We got bills to pay.
Special.
Yeah. So is it just that one, or is there something else you want me to run?
No.
Okay.
That's like 2.5 minutes, so that kills all both commercial spots.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
just we'll
Go ahead, Jeff. Put the camera on, Jeff.
Why?
Because
we've been talking about this for a while. So what we're about to show you is something we've been working on behind the scenes. It's kind of fucked up, but
it's just as fucking stupid as the live action.
We had a lot of fun. We actually I'll give you a little. No, I'm not gonna. Fuck it. I was gonna give you the tip, but.
So you're just shafting everybody.
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna shaft everybody.
That's so.
We had a lot of fun with this, and our guy did a great job. Dal, thank you. So Leo, let's show him what's been going on. Hey, dude, I need a fucking break, man.
Wah, wah, wah. All you do is cry.
Fucking hiking for hours.
Well, there's a bench over there. Let's go take a seat.
I ain't gonna sit on that. You know how much ass has been on that bench? I'm gonna sit on this rock.
All right, sit on the rock. So, what the fuck are we gonna do now?
Fucking get high.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Hey, look over there behind those trees.
What the fuck is that?
Isn't that fucking ugly zombie that you fucking got stoned? He stole our weed? Let's go get him.
Hey, man, watch out for the one on the fence. Fuck! Jesus, they're everywhere. Piper! Where is she when you need her?
She's probably pissing behind a fucking tree.
Oh, piss off, dude. Take that, ants. I'll piss all over your home.
All right, so I'm high.
Woo! I'm high. There's a dead zombie over there now.
Yeah, I see him. Well, I guess. You ready to start hiking again?
Not really. Where the fuck are we going?
That way.
That way.
That way. All right.
Piper!
Did you girls miss me?
I like how he brought you back full screen.
Yeah, I was. Thanks, Leo.
You're welcome.
I actually laughed at myself.
What? Hey, Leo, why are you not functioning right, man? Everybody's fucking full screen.
Quiet.
Jeremy, I know you gave him a brownie, Jeremy. He told me your ass is mine this weekend, buddy. I know who's going in the swimming pool in his fucking clothes.
Yeah. So anyway, everybody, there you go. We'll talk about it later. We have a guest.
That's right.
Isn't that?
So you said you geek out a bit. What are you watching or what are you reading right now?
I just finished Sandman on Netflix. That was, I don't know if anybody read the books. That was a really well done adaptation if you're into that. I loved it. I thought it was really well done.
That's
Reading
on my list.
All my reading right now is really boring. It's not any geek related reading. All my stuff's like acting stuff and like I like to work out and stuff, you know, like biohacking kind of stuff. But geek stuff,
well, you know,
I'm going by that Sandman series all day. I thought it was great. And there's some really good horror movies coming out that I'm excited about.
Sandman was amazing, but you know, you say that stuff is boring, but it's stuff you geek out about, you know? Like I forgot who we had on, and he dorks out about like sunken ships and stuff like that. So
I didn't know.
I guess if you say it like that, yeah, it's really fascinating to me because I'm getting older. I'm trying to stay in, as you know, because a lot of the roles I get are very physical. A lot of the stuff I initially did was like I was the mercenary, and I get booked as a cop or you know that kind of stuff. And somehow I kind of sort of got booked as a stuntman for stuff. Like people like, I have a lot of friends who are stuntmen who want to act. I'm an actor who can do some stunts. Like I'm good at fight choreography. You know, I can take a break fall, but it's like, hey, you want to jump off this roof? No, I fucking do not. I do not. You want to ride this motorcycle this fast? Nope. No. You want me to fall through a table? Yeah, we're good. You want me to put together a fight that looks good? Great. But yeah, so I have, unfortunately, a shit ton of injuries from over the years. So I kind of have to know this stuff just to keep myself together.
Right.
If I didn't know what I did, I guarantee I'd have like knee surgery, back fusion, shoulder surgery. I competed in, I was a powerlifter and a bodybuilder. I competed in, I still do jiu-jitsu and judo a couple nights a week.
Nice.
I've never gotten hurt. I've never gotten injured on a set. Like, there's a difference. I've the next day gone, I just did this very small part, but there's a National Treasure. They're going to have a series on Disney Plus.
I saw that.
I've got just a little day player thing in it they asked me to come in for. And there's this scene where I'm this Texas Ranger and I get, I guess, a tranquilizer dart or something. And I do a little break fall. And they're like, it's not real cement. It's just this pad. It wasn't that much of a fucking pad. We did 27, and I counted 27 fucking takes of me falling on that fucking thing. I wasn't injured, but the next day I'm like, yeah, I fucking did something. But no, I've never actually had a real injury on set. There have been some days. There's a movie coming out with Megan Fox called Johnny and Clyde. We have a fight scene in that. I was sore the next day from that because there's a bunch of, we're all of us knew each other. This, kind of that, dick swinging syndrome where it's like, man, he made that look good. Well, I'm not going to be the fucking bitch in this group. So we're just flinging ourselves into the fucking walls like a bunch of fucking idiots. It's going to look great. But the next day I'm like, fuck, that was stupid. We're just.
Did the director?
No, the director, Jeremy. No, the director was actually awesome, and I'm gonna say it's wrong. Kevin Alejandro. He was on Lucifer. Was the director of that episode, and super guy. The first 15 takes are from this angle where he didn't see me do the break, like he couldn't see me land. And on the 16th take, he's like, "Well, Tom, on this one, we're probably, this is gonna be a kind of good shot of you. We'll have to move the pad." I'm like, Kevin, we haven't had the fucking pad for the first 15 takes. And you see his face go, I'm like, it's okay. I know how to do it, but. And then after every take you okay, buddy? I'm like, where was this the first 15 fucking takes, Kevin?
Right. That would have helped.
Yeah.
Hey, again, and all my stories are going to sound the same. I have yet, and I've met, some level of celebrity. I've never had a bad experience. Nobody's big leagued me. I've never had any of this, don't look them in the eye shit. Everybody's been out of their way nice to me. Catherine Zeta-Jones is the sweetest lady. Kevin, who directed that episode, was just super to me. We were talking earlier. Dean Cain, one of the just could not have been nicer. Jean-Claude and Dolph, both super sweethearts. Right. Nobody's even given me the least bit of attitude. Megan Fox, very nice person. Kind of a little quiet, but again, she's got people just mobbing her, so I kind of get that. But right. Very nice professional person. They said Machine Gun Kelly showed up one night in a bad mood when I wasn't there. I don't know. I'm really sorry I missed that, honestly.
That's great.
I will tell you, if you like horror, that's going to, Johnny and Clyde, write this down. My good friend Tom DiNucci directed this. He wrote it with Nick Principe, who was in the Laid to Rest movies. This is by far the wildest thing. Like, this movie is crazy. Like, it's either going to be a smash hit, or people are going to be like, what the fuck?
Right.
Johnny and Clyde. It is. I've read the whole script. I got to be there. I think it's great. But like I said, it's the nuttiest thing. It's like this. Think of like Natural Born Killers, but you add a supernatural element with some comedy. There is some nice gratuitous nudity. It is all over the fucking place. I think that thing's gonna. I hope it launches. Tom DiNucci. Tom is already doing great. I hope this just launches him to another level. He's just a super guy. Probably one of the best friends I've made in the industry. So I'm really glad to see when you meet good people in this industry and they're not everywhere, especially if you, like, I've gotten to spend some time around some producers and I go, oh, these are the guys I hear about. Like, where it's just money, money, money. Everybody's brother, or, hey, oh, my man, how you doing? And then they leave the room. They just start talking mad shit. And you're like, oh. So let me guess what happens when I leave.
That's everywhere, though. That's
oh, yeah, it is. But it's just when you meet people who are genuinely nice people who don't have to be. Like Tommy is at a point, he doesn't have to be nice to people. But I've seen him be just a sweetheart to people. And he's in a position he doesn't have to be anymore. Right. Like, people are kissing his ass. He's like, no, it's all good, man.
Yeah. Well, he has to be, though. Because if it wasn't for the people, he wouldn't be who he is.
Right. I will tell you, I just like it when I see good things happen for good people. Because in this industry, sometimes you see like not so great people, rise to the top. I've heard, if half the stories I've heard, it's like, Jesus. So when you get to know somebody and see that's a genuinely good person, and you see stuff working out for them, it's just really nice, man.
Yes.
Yep.
I am a big believer in karma. I try to treat everybody the way I would want to be treated.
Yep.
Lord Jaja. Hey, Jeremy, go fuck yourself.
I'm not even going to point out if you meant to put me and you put my, because that sentence didn't really make sense, Jeremy. But it's all good. I mean, I just didn't want to fuck with you like that. I didn't want to be the guy that says you misspelled your,
Oh, by the way, Jeremy, when we do Tidewater on the road, I think I'm going to give you Tom Glynn panel.
I'll do it with him.
That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to Tidewater. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
We're going to have a blast.
That's
going to be great. And like I said, I love meeting people who genuinely love horror. So it's good. I'm also easily entertained, so I'm going to have fun no matter what.
Well, then you're definitely going to have fun.
Oh, we're going to get along great.
Especially if you're
easily entertained, we're going to have a fucking blast. Let me tell you.
I grew up on a farm, so I'm like, ooh, shiny stuff. Yay.
Oh, see, now we circled all the way back to the noodling.
You're in this fucking we didn't do this shit. We actually had running water. Fuck you.
No. The noodling. Don't you know what noodling is?
Isn't that where you have the stick to find water?
No,
No, that's
noodling is
dowsing.
noodling is when you catch catfish with your arm in the rivers.
Now I remember that, and honestly, as fucking ridiculous as it sounds, I think I had somebody in my family who could do that shit.
Wow.
Am I right, Leo? Right?
Yeah. Fuck
Yes,
that.
you
Go
are.
big thumb, smoke a ton.
Right. No wonder that didn't go over good at the beginning of the show. Nobody knew what
Well, I was kind of
fuck
listening
it
like,
meant.
well, either way, it was like, that's some redneck shit. What are you talking about? Which is where I grew up, but that's. I think I actually know somebody who would do that shit, like catfish.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I love that shit.
No. Go
Look,
do it.
I'll do it.
Oh, you can have that. No, you can have that shit. I actually, no, but.
All right.
I'll do it.
You
As
go
long as I have little
noodling.
catfish.
You go noodling. I'm gonna sit on the show with Tom, and we're gonna videotape it.
That sounds like a plan.
Right,
Okay, and then when I catch it, I'm going to bring it up and slap you both in the face.
dude? That thing's gonna drag you.
I will
in the
tell you
water.
what, if you catch a fucking catfish with your fucking hand, you can fucking hit me with that thing as hard as you want. I think you're gonna. Have you ever even seen a fucking catfish?
That sounds like a bet. That sounds like a bet.
I've caught catfish.
Okay, I didn't know. Not everybody. I grew up on a farm. Again, we also had
I
a
grew up
pond
on
with
a lake in the
catfish.
middle of
Well, people
nowhere.
don't realize you can get finned. Those things will fucking cut you.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking a mouth about that big around, dude. That's gonna swallow you.
Dude, some of those things get up frighteningly big.
Oh yeah.
I've seen one. I was like, this looks like some dinosaur shit. Like you're genuinely like, get that thing the fuck away from me.
Why do you think I only swim in pools now?
When I sit, you can noodle on a smaller scale. Maybe it's called niddling. I don't know.
Oh, what are you gonna?
But I
catch?
should be able to catch the little fish with like a finger. You don't have to use your whole arm, right?
I'm gonna let the obvious just slide here, and you're like, I'm gonna go a little smaller than my hand. I'm like, don't get finned. Is all I'm saying. I don't want to see you get hurt like that.
I would. I
No,
think it'd be fucking hilarious.
Well, yeah, but you guys know. I'm like, dude, that's pretty harsh.
I'm gonna bring this back on. I'm gonna bring this back on track.
You are, because I had a question too.
All right. Well, ask your question. Go ahead.
Okay.
And then I'll ask mine.
Okay. Well,
mine's
mine
gonna change the topic. So go ahead.
Well, mine was gonna change. Well, whatever.
Not like
Well,
mine.
you two fucking. What the fuck? Are you married or something?
Leo, ask your question.
Okay, so you said you got some action figures and stuff around. Is there anything that you're currently collecting, or is there something you're looking to get?
Not really specific. My attention span runs like, so I just find stuff that I find interesting. Like if I'm looking right now at what this setup I have in my room, in my office, which is hilarious because if you look at this place, it's a large room. My wife and I made this deal. This is your half. This is my half. So my half's all this geek shit, a gun vault, it's the guy side. Her side's like peace signs and art supplies. Like you can see the line in the middle of the room where it's like testosterone injections start. But right now, like I got a House of Thousand Corpses, like Captain Spaulding action figure in the box, and like the Conan the Barbarian and Thulsa Doom, and let's see what my personal favorites, and I just happen to find them online. Do you guys? There was a cartoon series called Golgo 13.
Oh yeah.
I've got like these little action figures from that. That's probably the geekiest thing I own. And like I think a statue from the Baki series, like of the dad Yujiro. I think that's the. God damn, I'm getting pretty geeky just talking about this shit. I hear myself talk. I'm like, I need to call my wife. Go, do you sure you still want to fuck me after listening to this? But no, it's a tie between the Golgo 13 figures, and I've got a Japanese figure of a MMA fighter named Rickson Gracie. He's like he helped popularize Gracie jiu-jitsu in this country. Mm-hmm. So I've got a little Japanese figure of him that's still in the box. I think that is the geekiest stuff I own.
Nice.
Yeah, the Gracie legacy is amazing.
Yeah. I'm a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I'm into that.
Really?
Yeah, you said that at the beginning if you were paying attention. I heard him. Yeah. I mean,
I said it in the bio. I put it in my bio. I am. Oh no, I did mention I don't train like I used to. I used to be really into it. Now I literally go like twice a week, and I go really more for my son. He's 10. The way our schedules are, there's no other way to get it. I don't have time to get him to a kid's class and then me come back an hour later for the adult class. So I bring him twice a week to the adult class, and he's my training partner. So we do jiu-jitsu and judo a couple of nights a week.
Nice.
Which I've been doing jiu-jitsu for probably about 15 years. That sounds about right.
Well, I didn't know that.
I was really serious at one
point. Some of the
point.
things that I said previously.
I don't think you have anything to worry about. I can. My metric for toughness is so fucked up because all my friends are either like special forces guys or, you know, professional fighters, MMA guys. Like, you know, so compared to them, I'm giant pussy. Like, you know, all these guys can beat the shit out of me. But then I get around normal people, I'm like, oh, so like choking people in 10 seconds is not something everybody knows how to do. Oh.
Right.
Like I have to remind myself, like I think I'm a big guy, but I'm nearly 230 pounds. But all my friends are these juiced up bodybuilders. So I'm like, oh yeah, I work out. But then I hang around normal people. I'm like, oh, I guess I am kind of big. That is that kind of metric.
Right.
Like I don't have a realistic concept of myself until I get around normal people. Because none of my friends are normal. They're not by any standard.
They're just big. Right.
He fits right in here because like we're so far from fucking normal. It's not even funny.
Well, like when I go,
right.
Like if I go, let's say I have a business partner, we do some stuff together, like some real estate stuff and some other things. Hampton Roads area. No. Is that an inside joke? No, I don't.
No, that's where Tidewater Horror Convention is in that area.
No, I've never been to Norfolk before. I've gone through Virginia. I've never been to Norfolk before. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be a great time.
Yeah, I'm really excited. But like I said, I love meeting fans of horror. Every time, you know, the times I've gotten to do things. Let's see, so
Call of Duty Legends. Oh my God.
See, I
that one got me for some reason.
Jeremy.
I have to say I thought that was a typo, and he said we're OCD Legends.
Well, that too.
I got it pretty. I'm like, no, Call of Duty. I'm like, my son would have more appreciation. I'm constantly like, you know, we have this rule in the house, like you get an hour of screen time, however you want to use it. You know, and he loves. I got him a PlayStation 5. He loves that fucking thing. It was probably a bad idea. He's like, 5 more minutes, Dad. 5 more minutes. I'm like, you said that 5 minutes ago. No, because I'm glad he. You know, if you enjoy it, great. But I'm also like, we also got to get you in the real world, so you're like, can do. I'm not trying to make a little fucking psychopath, but you got to know how to take care of yourself. I got bullied a lot as a kid, so I'm very particular about making sure my kids know, don't ever start it. But if somebody does something and you finish it, I'll be the first one up at the school going, okay, what's the problem?
Right.
Let's go get ice cream.
That's
You
how
did
I
the
was
right thing.
raised. Yep.
Right.
That's exactly how I was raised.
I do want to know a little bit about another movie you were in because I'm big into the military stuff. I love military movies of all sorts. But you played a role in A Soldier's Rest. Is that correct?
That is funny. I literally was talking about that. My business partner, who I was mentioning earlier, he's the other lead in Soldier's Rest.
Okay.
We met, I think we started out around the same time as actors. He's a very successful businessman. He wanted to become an actor, but he's so busy with his very successful real estate ventures that, you know, he's still kind of working his way up.
Right.
Not to say that I'm not, but I'm, you know, if there's a tier, I'm ahead of him.
Right.
But he also is kind of taking me under his wing with the business stuff. Like, so he's taught me about real estate, and We've got some investments together. I flipped some houses with him. I own some rental property that he taught me everything I know about it. He's the brains of the operation, but he's the other guy in the Soldier's Rest. He wrote Soldier's Rest.
Okay.
Yeah. But we got some good recognition of it. It made some rounds on the film festival because it's a pretty dark, it's a very serious subject matter.
Well, it is. Yeah. I mean, I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I did read the plot outline to it, and I'm like, this is on my list to watch like now.
I think it's like 12 minutes, man. Your excuses are pretty limited. I mean,
well, yeah, but
I'm not fucking with you, but
I mean, this guy down here has got me writing till my hands bleed, and then he's editing it, and yeah.
I just want to say this real quick before, because I understand what you meant with the camera, but the guy down here, it looks like you're talking about your dick. I just want you to know.
Well, yeah, it keeps.
The guy down here's got me working on my hands bleed. I'm like, just think when you talk. I'm just trying to help you out, brother.
Hey, man, however people want to perceive it.
Well, obviously, my mind went right, like, all right, yeah.
Yeah, right in the fucking gutter.
You're going to have to keep your hands on top of the tables.
Notice I do this every so often just to be like, hey.
Right. Well, yeah, I usually have one or the other up.
One or the other. That implies you need both, which would be impressive.
Right. See, there you go.
But no, Soldier's Rest, that was probably the thing I loved about that. Our director, Jeff Rose, he's done some successful stuff in his right. I had always considered myself kind of almost like a mechanic as an actor, because the stuff I had done to that point, I'm like, I'm a soldier, I'm a cop, I'm the mercenary. Most of the stuff I'd done consisted of me standing around with my arms clenched, like, tough guy stuff.
Right.
There's a scene in that where, I'll try not to spoil it, but there's a scene where I get emotional and I cry and I'm very upset. And I'm talking to him the next day. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm really exhausted, and just talking about it and the whole experience. He's like, Tom, do you know what I love? I got to see you become an artist. I literally pulled my car over and I was about to cry because I'd never thought of myself that way as an actor. It was just like, all right. I was like, almost stuntmanish in my, I'm a big, tough looking guy. I go for those roles. I stand around, look tough. And here's my check. Cool. Thanks. Like, it never occurred to me like, oh, I actually can have some range at this, or actually have some talent to do something beyond that. So that, to this day, that's probably one of the best compliments I ever got. He said, I got to see you become an artist.
That's awesome.
It was a great moment. It was a very changing moment for me too, because then I went, all right, I guess I need to be a little more serious about this.
Right.
And like I said, it's one of those things, there's levels, because to be completely honest, there's not a real percent. I'd say 80% of acting a fucking chimp can do. Here, you remember these words, you pretend you're the person. It's not like people go, you're an actor, that's amazing. It's really not. I just happen to have the kind of life that I could pursue it. But then there's levels, because then there's that next. I did, and again, very small part, there's a series coming out, George and Tammy. It's based on George Jones and Tammy Wynette. The lead is Michael Shannon and Jessica Chastain. Let me tell you guys, when I tell you about acting, there's fucking levels. Michael Shannon, I spent 2 days working with him, and I was just like, I don't know shit. Mm-hmm. He was breathtakingly talented. Mm-hmm. Method actor. He's drunk in the scene. I'm the cop arresting him. That man would not speak to me, glared at me, looked, to the point, I look at the stunt coordinator like, did I fuck up? He's like, no, he's in character. He stayed like kind of sullen for 2 solid fucking days. When we wrapped, the whole time he's just, all right, we're wrapped. Hey man, real pleasure working with you. I'm like, the fuck? There's a scene on a staircase and I'm feeding him the line, like I'm doing my line to him. And I'm just sitting there looking at him going, I got to step it up. This motherfucker can act. Because like I said, most of the stuff, honestly, a fucking chimp can do a lot of the acting scenes you see in a movie or TV show.
Right.
It's not a lot of range. That dude could fucking act. I left that place humbled. Jessica Chastain, uh 180 degrees the other direction, but just as talented. She could sit there and be like, very nice person, making chit chat. It's January in North Carolina, so it's fucking cold. She's like, oh gosh, and she's so pleasant, just got a blanket on. Okay, all right, camera's rolling. And cut. Oh my God, thank you so much for my coffee. Like, she could just flip it on and off. I can't do that.
Wow.
But I also don't stay in character for 2 fucking days either.
Right.
I'm somewhere in the middle, but it was really interesting to see that dynamic. Like, there's levels, and those two, I was just like, shit, because I couldn't do what she did, because she could turn it on like that. I need a minute. And I'm just telling you, that standing on that staircase, doing that scene with him, and just, this take time, I'm just going to stand behind the camera and I'm just standing there watching him, and I'm just like, fuck, I gotta go to some more classes or some workshops or shit. Fuck. He's probably, and I've been blessed to work with some very talented people. He's probably the most talented actor I've met, as far as just raw talent. Fuck, I cannot say enough about how much I was impressed by him. That was my story.
Silence.
Yeah, that was like he left the room speechless after that.
Yes.
But no.
Okay.
Just like I said,
yeah,
the way he just stayed that way. And then when we wrapped, hey man, pleasure. Thanks for taking care of me. Cause it was sort of a stunt, because we're on the staircase and there was the potential of, him falling. He's like, hey, thanks for taking care of me. And, couldn't have been a nicer dude. But when he was on, I genuinely thought the guy was pissed at me.
Okay.
That's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I've made such a weird variety of friends through acting.
Yeah.
I can genuinely say, like, I would go so far as I'm friends with the lead singer from All American Rejects, because we did a movie together.
Nice. Like,
it's like such the most random stuff I can say. Like, somebody would be listening to Dirty Little Secret. I'm like, I know that guy. And they're like, what? I'm like, he's a sweetheart. Super artist, great guy. But yeah, it's just, you meet the most random people, and just some people, again, I've been really lucky. Overwhelmingly, everybody's been really cool to me. Yeah, but I also try to be a professional. I don't come in acting like, oh, can I get a picture? Like, I don't ask people for I don't want to take a picture with anybody. I don't want any selfies for my fucking Instagram. I'm coming in to do a job.
We bring a picture of ourselves to them.
Yeah, we do. We autograph a picture of ourselves and they go, here you go.
And that's it. Billy, any new projects coming? It's the same actor's curse. The second something's lined up, it falls through. I had this really nice indie film that I had booked. It was this werewolf thing. It wasn't a big budget, but I loved the script. And of course, they lost the funding like at the last minute. It was like, yeah, we're going to try to do this a little down the road, which is like, well, they'll call me when you do. But as of right this minute, I have nothing absolutely lined up. I've got a whole bunch of, well, this should be happening, or we got you in mind for this, or a bunch of auditions out. But as far as I'm going to be on set this day, that's the actor's life.
Right.
That's the thing that I've been lucky with. By no means am I a multi-millionaire or anything, but I've got, over the years, I've, tried to be smart with the money that I've made throughout my life.
Right.
And I've got like, okay, I got this little rental property here sending some money in. I got this going on. So I got a few different things. So there are times I can take a project where somebody goes, well, we're an ultra low budget. I can go, well, let me look at it. And if it's a really cool project, or if it's something I'm like, oh, God, I'd love to be a part of that, I can do it. I always remember this story about James Woods. He got offered Reservoir Dogs, and his agent didn't tell him because it was SAG scale. They're only paying like, back then, I guess it was $800, $900 a day. And his agent's like, yeah, you're not getting James Woods for that. And suppose like James Woods found out and fired his agent after.
Right.
Like, because sometimes if you're just chasing, like, I got to get the biggest check, there's some gems out there you miss. Like that werewolf movie, I was really bummed about that because I was like, man, I love this script. It's a good story. And I hope that comes to fruition down the road. Because I think that's going to be great if they, all the pieces come together. But
very cool. Very cool.
Like I said, as of right now, I have nothing on, like, you are booked for this. But you could ask me next week and go, hey, I could get a, text in 20 minutes going, hey, that audition in New York, you booked it. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
No,
That's
what
the thing about acting. What's that?
What about events? What events do you have coming up besides Tidewater?
Really, right now, Tidewater's the only thing on my schedule. I'm taking a little time doing family stuff. It's been nice. And I've got somebody, helps me out with that stuff. I just kind of, they give me a call. You want to do this? Yeah, sure.
Very cool.
Again, I know I sound like a broken record. I am blessed with a relatively stress-free life. Again, not super rich, but if I don't have to do every little thing, like I don't have to go out there and like hustle and chase stuff at this point in my life.
No, you did that already.
Oh, I did. What I tell my friends, because I have friends, it must be nice to be doing good. I'm like, yeah, you didn't see me when I held down 2 fucking jobs for 20 something years. So yeah, it's fucking fabulous to be doing okay. Like, it's kind of not a sore point, but if I always get irritated if somebody goes, oh, it must be nice to have some money. Yeah, it's fucking nice if you busted your fucking ass and you didn't blow it. Yeah, right. It's fucking lovely to have some money.
True point. Very true.
Well, it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those little. If I remember when I was in my early 20s, I had this job. I just got started, and I was broke. I mean, I literally had a sleeping bag in an apartment. And there was this girl who lived across the hall. And she was just going off, and she was going out every night and doing all this shit and going on vacations. And we talked enough, like we had more or less the same income. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Well, it turns out, like a year later, she tells me like she's like 50 grand in credit cards. I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
And I've just seen people over the years, and it's so bad now. And this is a whole nother discussion. I'll do this very briefly. I hate the fact that kids come out of school. It's like, what can you tell me? I can tell you the 12 cranial nerves in order. That's great. Can you write a fucking check? What? Can you tell me how a stock works? Anything. And they're just like, but you can tell me about, the fucking, you can list the presidents in order. I just feel like people need to prepare their kids, or not even, you don't trust the schools, do you? You have to prepare your kids for the real world. And some of that's like knowing how to manage money.
Yeah.
And I was lucky. I grew up in a household where my mother was very financially savvy, and she kind of clued me into stuff early. Like, you can make choices, but you got to live with them. And so far, things have gone okay. I say it repeatedly. I have few complaints.
Very cool. Very cool. So, Leo, you got another show tonight?
I do.
All right. So let's last round of questions, and we'll let this fine gentleman go.
Yeah. Well, we got to. So you said you mentioned a couple times you grew up on a farm. What animals did you have?
We had a cattle farm. It was quite. I mean, when I say I was a cowboy, I was quite literally. I'll take a little of the romance off. We had 4-wheelers, not horses, but we were an active running cattle farm. Like, I grew up like rounding up cattle and, send them off to,
slaughterhouse.
I know where the hamburgers come from.
Right.
It was not because we were like, oh, did you milk the cows? No, we didn't do that.
So obviously you must have cleaned out stalls.
If you're asking me if I shoveled shit, yes, I have.
So
to this day, I can't stand watermelons because we grew them on the farm and would sell them every summer. And when I don't mean like a garden, I mean like acres. And I'm a skinny ass kid trying to pick up these 50-pound fucking monstrous watermelons. To this day, I'm like, I fucking hate watermelons. I hate them. My family's like, this is delicious. Hey, fuck those things.
So hey, Billy, you heard that Tom wants extra watermelon in his room in Tidewater.
The fucking It's sad too because I'm like, this seems like it's healthy and everybody's having fun, and I'm just like, keep that shit away from me. You could stick a bottle of vodka in one. I'm like, no, fuck those things. I'm traumatized. Okay. I was 10. You couldn't do this shit now. Like I was 10 years old sitting on the side of the road with some stand my dad set me up on selling watermelons. And people, let me tell you something. Don't haggle with a fucking 10-year-old. That's fucked up. Because people would sit there and be like, well, I'll give you this. I'm like, I'm fucking 10.
Right.
Like it's just.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was my farm experience, shoveling shit and hating watermelons.
Well, when I grew up, we had 3 cows. You know, nothing. It was a small family farm, and you know, just I was going to ask, you know, also growing up with cows, when you're driving around and you pass manure, like, you know, normally if I'm like in a car with like, you know, some people that didn't grow up on a farm, they're like, oh no, that's terrible, but it doesn't phase you.
You like
Leo,
the smell of
did you just
shit.
say you like the smell of shit?
Cow shit.
There is a difference, and he's actually right. It's a distinct, like a cow pie, as we called them.
Yep.
Like I can drive by a farm and go, yeah, childhood. Yep. Whereas everybody else is like, I just smell shit. I'm like, well, say what you will.
Yeah.
But my dad was also a construction supervisor. When I was 15, he had me pouring concrete on a sewage plant we were building in Mississippi. So in July, in Mississippi, I'm wearing jeans, a shirt, and a hard hat, pouring concrete next to a giant pond of shit.
Oh, wow.
So when people tell me, like, yeah, it's going to be a long day, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
You're hard pressed to make me go, yeah, it's going to be a rough day. I'm like, it's going to be pretty fucking rough. It's got to be pretty fucking rough for me to complain.
Wow.
To be fair, it's the best thing my dad ever did for me because I learned what real work was.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, oh, we got a 16-hour day on set. Okay. Do I have to shovel shit? Well, no. Okay, well, fuck. I'm golden.
Do I have to stand there and smell shit for 16 hours? No.
To be fair, I've had some days on set where I'm like, this is, because people are always like, oh, isn't that glamorous? Or Tom Cruise caught a bunch of shit years ago. No, I don't want a fucking watermelon shot, Billy. I'll no comment the shrooms, but no. But no, I know what work is. My dad was very clear about you're going to learn what work is, so you want to go to college or do stuff that's not like I grew up.
Right.
And let me tell you, when he was fucking done, I was like, I'm not doing this shit for a living. But again, you can give me what some people would go, it's going to be a rough day. And I'm like, nah, this is nothing. But what I said, Tom Cruise, some years ago, he had this quote in an interview and he caught a lot of shit. He's like, man, making a film's like going to war. And then you got veterans missing a fucking arm going, oh, is it really? Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Right.
And they should. But I got what he meant because it's not like you're not just sitting around in a fucking, glamorous setting. It's usually, all right, it's hot as fuck. I'm wearing this costume or, we're doing the 5th take of me doing this fight scene or I'm having to, we just switched my line. Oh, you want to change the lines like with 20 minutes? Okay. It's, and everybody's looking at you. When I did The Gifted, they were like, no pressure. When you say your lines, that's going to be the cue. This truck's going to come up. There's going to be all this pyro. And they're talking about like, there's going to be like 10 grand worth of fucking explosions and special effects based off me saying this line. And then half an hour before, hey, we switched up a couple of the lines. I'm like, oh, no fucking pressure.
Right.
I get it when people, say stuff like, man, it's a tough day on the job. I get it. But then when you talk to people like, who are literally shoveling shit or, garbage men or like got real jobs that are not making good money, I can see where they'd be like, oh yeah, boo fucking who.
Right.
So that's my rant on that. I apologize.
Don't apologize. It was a perfect rant and a perfect way to close the show. So Leo.
Yeah.
I know you got another show. We don't want to keep you and we don't want to keep
much appreciated
Tom from his family too much longer here. And we're going to see Tom, in about 3 weeks, I believe.
3 weeks, yeah.
About 3
It's
weeks.
8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Is that right?
9th.
Tidewater Horror Convention.
Yeah,
So-
Very excited.
Billy said 2 weeks.
Well, it's 2 weeks after Maryland. Oh shit, Maryland's this weekend. So
Yeah,
no, it's
you guys are going to be
tomorrow.
in Maryland this
3
weekend,
weeks.
and 2 weeks after that, I'll be
Yep.
seeing you guys in Virginia.
in Virginia. So like
It's going to be
said,
awesome.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, folks, Maryland is this weekend. If you haven't gotten your tickets, get them. If you miss this event, well, you can only blame yourself.
I've seen the lineup. I think it looks great. I think it's going to be an awesome time for you guys. I think you guys are going to have an awesome time.
Both lineups for Billy and Brian's shows this year are fucking amazing. Tom is going to be down in Norfolk. That's a horror convention. Check out the lineups there. Get your tickets while you can. I'm telling you, man, we have a good time. And those two guys put on one of the best cons I have ever been a part of.
I am stoked about it. It's going to be great.
So
not only celebrities, vendors, awesome vendors
Yep.
here as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
And trust me when I say I've never been at a better show. You'll understand why, Tom, when you're there. And to patrons, get your tickets, man. I'm telling you, you're not going to want
I'm excited for it. The only thing I ever worry about is trying not to buy stuff while I'm there. I'm like, how the fuck am I going to get this home?
Right?
Because I'm a fan. I see stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool as fuck.
Tom travels with 3 suitcases. Only one has clothes.
That's actually a great idea. I should do that. just an empty one. So it's like Homeland Security's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this for? I'm like, it's gonna be full when I come back. They're like,
yeah, they'll be like,
yeah, we'll step over here for a second.
Yeah.
We're gonna need you to come over this line over
You thought
here.
you got lubed up for that suit.
Let me tell you, after wearing that fucking suit a few days, 80.
That's Billy. Awesome. Dude.
That is big shit. Okay, awesome.
So, but yeah, Leo, do your thing. Now that you're taking a drink.
Yeah, I know. I gotta. Well, anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. For me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not gonna say which is which, but I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. Brian says gonna be 2 epic weekends. Totally agree. So yeah, head on over to thedorkening.com. We got about 40 shows on the network. There's a lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff. We're gonna actually be doing another live show at 9, so tune on in for that. And so, Tom, where do you like people interacting with you?
Really, the acting stuff mostly promote on Instagram. That's at Real Tom Glynn, GLYNN. That's the best way to follow things with my career. So that's my number one thing.
Awesome. Jeffrey.
Go to stilltoking.com. Stilltoking.com. I'm high as fuck. Tom, you are awesome. I had a lot of fun. You're just yeah. I'm so fucking big.
We're gonna have fun.
Oh man, all I gotta say, Jeff, is 6 a.m. I'm gonna be sitting outside your house. So
6:30?
Nope. 6 a.m. 6 a.m. man, we're hitting the road. 6 a.m. We already talked about it. You confirmed the time, man. I'm just saying. So as high as a kite as that well, I'm driving anyway, so it doesn't matter. You'll still be fucking high at 6 a.m. So
wake and bake, yeah.
Right. He won't even have to. He probably ate a couple of edibles. Yes, I know I'm number one. Thank you, sir. Thank you. But yeah, like Jeff said, check us out at stilltoking.com. Everything is on there, from the comic books to this amazing show that we run, all archived there. The film series and now the animated series is on there. Yeah, we want a huge shout out to Tom for hanging out with us tonight, taking time away from his family.
It's a pleasure, guys. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Big shout out to Billy and Brian. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow and getting ready for this crazy weekend down there in Maryland. And most importantly, to our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do every day so people like us can do what we do. Stay safe.
Amen.
We'll see you
Absolutely.
next week. We're out of here. Peace.
Thank you, guys.